I'm excited to be able to welcome the crew here from Harvard Business School. They're working on the competitiveness project. It's something that's very near and dear to the heart of anybody that works in the Valley. Every CEO in Silicon Valley thinks deep and hard about U.S. competitiveness.
It's great to discuss U.S. competitiveness in a part of the country that is really the envy of the world. America retains enormous strengths. The problem is these strengths are weighed down first by other strengths that are weakening, as well as weaknesses that are getting worse. Going back to our survey, if you just take the Californians, you're concerned about the tax code is literally off the map. And only two things move up and to the right, actually. Your confidence in entrepreneurship and your confidence in the strength of clusters like Silicon Valley.
Will entrepreneurship save us? If I ask that in this crowd, what's the answer?
Of course. We have a chance, and I think we will rebuild this country with the entrepreneurial system leading the way.
But frankly, it's at risk in the entire economy and in the important parts of the economy. Entrepreneurship needs a context in which you have a healthy fiscal situation, you have a healthy economy, you've not eliminated risk in the system, and in which you create opportunity for all and the ability to think that you can succeed and that if you fail, your life is not finished.
Our argument is that the company's ability to innovate depends on the health of the commons. Innovation requires access to a lot of complementary capabilities. I locate in Silicon Valley because I have access to component suppliers or tools and equipment manufacturers, complementary technologies, human resources.
The amount of supply of talented individuals, of that risk-taking culture is part and parcel to Silicon Valley.
Innovation has been really integrated across the whole evolution of the manufacturing facilities, many of which were piloted and built here. When that cycle has broken, it has created major disruption in the businesses in Silicon Valley.
Electronic Arts has made a commitment to hire 5,000 engineers by the end of this decade. We can't hire half of them in the United States. It's entirely about supply. It's entirely about our education system. It's entirely about our tax and immigration policies. It's frustrating to me as a CEO, and it's frightening to me as a father.
The most important thing, just morally and for society, is that every single human being reaches their full potential. Khan Academy is an educational not-for-profit. It's about getting students at a very early age to write programs and build robots and do things that drive entrepreneurship.
Circuits is one of the hardest courses at MIT. They had 170,000 people around the world sign up. Something like 2,000 had perfect grades, none of whom went to MIT.
And I think by the elite institutions leading the charge there, they're validating the space in a way that's actually very inspirational.
The kind of things you're doing, powerful, great. Some companies have adopted schools. We can really make a difference in more than you actually think.
Everyone I talk to gets the problem, but figuring out that you have to sacrifice is hard.
Get involved in local education. Find out how incredibly difficult these challenges are. The only one that's bigger, in my opinion, the healthcare system. In our world, if you had a good idea for something in biology or medicine, a company like ours or others in our industry are going to look for it. We're looking for those kind of ideas all the time.
We just have to keep putting ideas forward and not being risk averse from putting those ideas forward, and then just let the ideas shake out and get to an outcome. This is a really easy time for entrepreneurs with good ideas to get capital.
Let me link these things together because I think what you're seeing is the democratization of access to capital, access to markets, and access to jobs.
People in the US just have this great competitive edge of just trying to come up with an idea, and nobody's going to think you're a wacko. You can get it funded. Start in your garage.
There was a great children's book called Harold and the Purple Crayon. And in it, Harold creates adventures for himself by drawing himself into those adventures. And what I see this generation of students doing, generation of young people, is trying to draw that future. And they don't look at conventional wisdom. They don't know that they can't do things. They don't know that they shouldn't do things. We have an infinite supply of problems, and every problem to an entrepreneur or someone who thinks as an entrepreneur is an opportunity. That's what gives us hope.